You know what? Life is a game and there's no cheat codes. You start at level 1. So how do you make sure that you have the most amount of joy and success and purpose as you drive through the game of life? In my own journey, I had to overcome a bunch of obstacles in becoming a DJ, living in a town in England, moving to Las Vegas. So I've come up with a 4-step plan, which I feel like covers the angles that you can use and utilize these tools to actually help you succeed in your life. Covering creativity, curiosity, working together, adaptability. This is the 4-part plan that's going to help you win the game of life.
So this is your distilled version of how to approach life successfully in all areas, essentially.
Yes, this is my 4 points of how to approach that.
Successfully.
Yes.
Curious. I'm curious about that.
Curious is part of it. Remaining curious is number 2. But I wrote them down. I'll give you the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we can go through them one at a time, and we can just discuss if you want. Okay,
let's go.
Here we go. All right. So I wrote the story of everything as a movie. So I believe, and I live my life, that it is like a narrative that we get to be co-author of. Mm-hmm. So I believe that we're engaging on a journey, and we speak about this regularly, the hero's journey, where we have to kind of leave our comfort zone and go through various things that we find either fearful or we know that is a challenge for us, or that we're avoiding, things that we're aware of that are holding us back from where we intend to aim towards or get to. Mm-hmm. So that would be my first one, that I would treat life like it's an unfolding narrative that you get to be a part of the authoring of. It's important to kind of shape your own hero's journey. That would be my first point, life as a narrative. Second one is how to balance creativity and play. I think it's exceptionally important to stay curious and to stay challenging yourself to be expressive. When I've not been that way in my life, when I've held back either things I've wanted to say or things I've wanted to do through fear of being embarrassed or being ashamed or X, Y, Z, it's always stunted my growth. And it's also stunted my happiness, to be honest, because they've become things that I've then resented myself for not doing. Or I think that's an important thing. Stay curious, stay expressive, look for ways to maintain those things in your life. That's my second thing. The third is how to balance structure and flow. I talk about flow state a lot because I do a lot of creative endeavoring in my music career, in art, graphic design, all this kind of stuff, branding, building stuff. So it's super important to be playful in that, and I try and set my environment up to help me maintain this kind of inspiration and to keep my imagination kind of active. But at the same time, you know that I'm very structured in the way I approach my day, and I'm borderline OCD with windows of time and things. I feel that the routine of things helps me stay able to have those moments of open and play. And then my fourth is winning together, which is basically the realization that you can't do it all on your own. So no matter how much I want to bust through the level as Mario, I've got to call on Luigi every now and then.
Bro.
Yeah, it's better together. And the queen. Oh yeah, well, the princess. Yeah. She becomes the queen when you marry her. So yeah, bro, that's my four-step thing. Life as a narrative, balancing creativity and play, structure versus flow, and winning together.
Can you give me an example in your life of each one? Specifically, the first one, life as a narrative, you said, kind of like you being part of life unfolding and adapting.
Yeah.
Like what exactly do you mean by that? Like, what comes to your mind that you wrote that down?
Because the most important creative thing I've ever done in my life was putting all of my beliefs and feelings into this extended DJ mix movie music marathon thing. And because that's called the story of everything, I'm like, it makes most sense to me that I approach my life in that way. And I have. If I think back to me as a kid, 5 years old, I've always approached things as a storyteller. Storyteller from my perspective. I'm also telling, like we do, humans tell stories to each other. That's how we communicate. It's all based on our experiences and then our ability to kind of recall the memory and then communicate that to somebody else. Stories are incredibly important to me. And also you can rewrite your story at any particular point. If you don't like something about the way that the story that you're telling yourself, you can change that. That's the beauty of it. It's amazing. I do believe that we're not the only author of our life, because I believe that there is a God, and I believe that God is the author and we get to write it with him, kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's just a beautiful way to approach things. And it ties into the hero's journey. We chat about this all the time. This leaving comfort, going through hardship, finding a mentor, slaying your dragon, coming back, sharing what you've learned, and then this kind of pattern that emerges from that of going, not going around in circles, but going through patterns of finding hardship, taking the challenge, going gung ho. I'm gonna complete this. Finding help if you need it. Like this is just, it's so apparent across. That's the main sort of meta story, and it's so apparent across all of our lives.
The first point is kind of related to your ability to adapt and also to change as the story progresses in a certain way, to redefine yourself to a certain degree as well.
Yeah, and I think it's also to take ownership in that, so again, victim mentality is to feel like life's happening at you and you don't have any control of what's happening, and that you can't change the course of that. I believe that yes, shit things happen to people, but you also have the control of how you respond to that. Life's going to happen how it happens, and you get to kind of be part of the story. You are the character in your story. Like you're the PUYA, you're the main character of your movie, and everybody who thinks about life this way is also the main character for their story. So there's power in that too. You get to tell your character which way to go.
So there's an element of assuming responsibility deeply embedded in there. Yeah.
Yes.
Because if you don't assume responsibility, essentially you're giving the control away. You're essentially declaring subconsciously that the other people make a decision for you to be where you are.
You're either playing your game or you're letting someone else play it for you.
Yes.
Like you've got the controller in your hand, or you're going to say, hey, do you want to take control of my character? And then you don't know where they're going to go. You want to control where you go in life, and you do have control of that. I genuinely believe that. I'm very passionate about that. It's been what's carried me through. It's been one of the things which, again, along with my faith, that has given me the strength to get through hard times. But you have to take responsibility. You can't hide away from things, because they'll catch up with you eventually, bite you in the ass. These things don't go away.
So since the first point is that, you're part of the narrative unfolding, what would be an example of where you weren't part of that in your life, where it went the other way and you were quote unquote unsuccessful?
I mean, many times in my relationships that have gone wrong, where I told lies or avoided stuff. In my personal life, where I've self-sabotaged from boozing or taking things I shouldn't have done. In my career, where I've gotten too cocky or arrogant with things, thinking I was the big I am, and then getting sent back down, we say sent to Coventry in England. It's like go sit on the bottom step of the stairs. Yeah.
So when you get scolded.
So, but dude, the thing is that you have to like think about this. Mario, how many lives do you get at the beginning? Like we think we've got one life. Yeah, we don't. We have the two lives. We've said this before. You die to yourself and then you come back. Mario's 3 lives. Like he's got to go through dying a few times to figure out like, probably shouldn't jump over that ledge. I've got to go onto this next bit, or I've got to get the mushroom so I can do the bigger jump.
Yeah.
And it's important for us to realize that in our failures comes the learning process. There's obviously the other side to that, because experience can be the greatest teacher, but on top of that, it can also make you predict things in the future based on one experience, which isn't the truth. Like you can get into awkward situations with that, but I think it's just important to kind of keep self-evaluating where you're at, and if it feels good, maybe you should double down on it. If it's feeling a little bit like it's getting on your nerves, it's probably something you should look at. Do you live your life in that kind of a context? It doesn't have to be said in those same sorts of words, but do you feel like you agree or disagree with that statement?
I think your first point pretty much sounds to me like assuming responsibility and accepting constant adaptation and not attached to the status quo to the degree that it devours you. Because I think a lot of the things that you were referring to that were not going well in your life, I think it's avoiding change. And every time you try to avoid change, you're trying to bend external reality.
Whether it's avoiding change or avoiding feeling what I was feeling, or avoiding dealing with a certain situation and thinking, no, I can put it off.
Yeah, and typically negative feeling that we talk about is part of the death and resurrection. So the death and resurrection is the change of yourself based on the thing that you're going through at the moment. The more you're trying to avoid that, the more you're trying to avoid your own evolution.
Yeah, which is weird to think about, isn't it? Why would you
That's
avoid your own evolution?
I think that happened to me before as well. Like you said, the reason for that is A, it's very uncomfortable. B, it's very uncertain when you go through a situation like this. And C, don't forget that you got to that point and you survived. So if you speak about evolution in a technical sense, there is a map that you built for yourself around this world that allowed you to navigate reality in a way that allowed you to survive up until this point. So no matter what it is, you don't want to let go of the way that you view and perceive reality, because the moment you pull that away, what you're doing is you're removing the foundation of how you view the world, and it puts you in no man's land. It takes you away from certainty and it puts you in uncertainty. But uncertainty in itself is the prerequisite for you to grow. Hence why I said Mario is eating the mushroom. What is he doing? When he eats the mushroom, he gets bigger. Or when he eats the star, he becomes bright. And both of those essentially are armors. They're shields. For what? They're shields because now he's more courageous to face whatever enemy is coming or whatever difficulty is coming, and accepting that he or she can overcome that. So it's a prerequisite for you to accept the moment of pain in order to build that armor. And when you build that armor and you become more courageous, you become more self-trusting. The more self-trusting you become, the more likely you are to give in whatever is changing around you, because you know you can adapt to it. You're creating a data point. The more data points you
Remember when we did this before? Now you know
exactly.
that you're able to do more than that.
Absolutely. So the more data points you create in your life, the more self-trust you create, because the more reference points you have of where you came from and where you're going.
Yeah.
And the data points I've learned for myself, you create as a result of both physical hardship and overcoming mental hardship. I think they go hand in hand. And I think the Spirit, God, helps you build both of those. Because if you can have that faith when you go through physical pain and emotional pain, ultimately you will overcome it. You will find out that you're more than you thought you were.
Yeah.
Every time you find out that you are more that you thought you were, you look back and view yourself differently. You're not the same person anymore afterwards. You are that plus that delta of who you are now. And that process is infinite.
You think that approaching the physical and mental gives you a clearer line to the spiritual?
Yes, and I tell you why. Every time you approach mental pain and physical pain proactively and voluntarily, you will face situations of uncertainty within that process. Give you an example, a very simple example. I thought about this in the depth of my training with Dylan, bro. It's just mad. Dude, I was in the depth of training, like 40 minutes in. We were doing squat jumps, we were doing boxing, and in between we were doing burpees. Bro, and I was so exhausted. I'm like, man, my body is gonna give up. At some point it's gonna give up while I'm doing it. So what's happening? I'm going through physical pain voluntarily. I signed up and I pay that guy money to torture me like this, right? So first thing's voluntary. The second thing is I'm going through the process of pain. I'm facing that pain. In that moment of facing that pain, there is a part of me that's uncertain whether I can overcome it. 60 minutes later, I come out of that process and I'm not dead. As a matter of fact, I overcame it. Don't know how.
You're also thanking the Lord that it's over.
You do that too. Acai bowl, first
over.
coconut water, rehydrate. But you take a moment, you look back. So what you did is you completed one iteration of leveling up every single time. Why? You start as a person that is, let's say, starting at point X. You go through the process. There is a moment where you think, oh, I could be wiped out. Oh, I don't know if I can do that. You overcome it. Mario jumping over it, right? You overcome it. Now you look back and you're like, oh, I'm X plus some. So within that process of facing voluntarily physical pain or emotional pain, what you're actually doing is you're completing the hero's journey, because the hero's journey is voluntarily facing the dragon.
So you
slaying it
little
and
mini
overcoming.
heroes journeys each day.
Exactly. Well, the actual hero's journey is the sum total of your mini hero's journeys, because the hero's journey is right in front of you. What is it that you're afraid of today?
Yeah.
And tackling that voluntarily. And then the thing is, it becomes, that's why a life is a game, and you have to learn how to play it. You're not going to see level 10 and the opponent and the final boss on level 10 when you're on level 1. You're just seeing that opponent right in front of you. But then you overcome that opponent, and where you go to level 2.
They also get progressively harder, don't they? That's the point, isn't it? With
Exactly. So you have to think about it that way. You cannot see your overarching hero's journey without being identified with the process of unlocking each door in front of you. By definition. Why? Because if you're in level 1 and you would see how hard the opponent is in level 10, what would it do to your psyche?
Yeah. You'd be
it's
like,
too far off.
It's too, I'm not going to be able to complete that.
That's why you're going to face the burden and the load. God is going to give you the burden and the load that you can tackle today. And once you complete that cycle, He will then stack on a little bit more. You learn to bench with 45 pounds, then you go to 60 pounds, to 85 pounds, and you do that voluntarily. Because if you do that involuntarily, because life is going to be hard, whether you face that voluntarily or not, at some point, if you avoid that, this is going to be stacked. Like, all of these are duties and responsibilities. If you don't face them, they're just going to stack. It's not like they're going away. They're just growing. And then you face the level 10 opponent and you're on level 1. And that thing takes you out. So you're better off voluntarily facing it. The quicker you start, the better you're off.
Yeah, because you also pick up, thinking about it like a game, you also pick up skills, tools that actually help you defeat the tougher bosses as you go through the different levels of the game anyway, which is the same as life. And
that's the reason. That's the reason you're going to face it based on the load you can handle.
Yeah.
Pause,
bro. All right, so that's number 1. My number 2.
Curiosity.
Balancing creativity and play. That's an important thing for me. I think that we need to stay curious and expressive. So an example of that is what we're doing right here. It's hard. It's hard to kind of sometimes bear all and know that you're doing that again in an environment which involves you having to kind of express how you feel. This has been a journey in itself to get to this point where we feel even more comfortable kind of letting everything come out of ourselves.
Yeah.
And to consistently challenge each other to level up. How do you stay creative in your life? How do you embrace playing the game of life as opposed to it playing you?
Essentially, the question you're asking is, how do you look at life with fresh eyes every day you go about it? I think part of it is going to be your willingness to let go of your idea of what it is you're doing all the time. I think I go through, if you would look at it from the outside, you would think that I'm doing a lot of very similar things on the daily. But the way that you view the thing you're doing and you're interacting with the thing you're doing is going to be different based on your freshness, your outlook on the thing in itself. And I think that assumes a certain level of, you have to put your ego aside, man. Because for me, the more ego I have, the more I know how things need to be. The more I know how things need to be, the less likely I am to look at it with fresh eyes, the less likely I am to accept other viewpoints, and the more likely I am to be stuck in my structures. So I think part of when you ask me, how do you keep that playfulness within you and that approach, that novel approach to things you go about, is to what degree can I evolve my level of self-awareness? Is really what it is. Because a lot of times I catch myself doing the exact same thing and judging the same thing in the same way. And my level of self-awareness is going to allow me to shift perspective. The moment I shift perspective, I look at it from a different viewpoint. The moment I look at it from a different viewpoint, I can interpret it differently. The moment I interpret it differently, I can learn something new. The moment I can learn something new, I become a different version.
It's hard for me sometimes with certain people to remain open-minded and curious because, again, like I've got a strong ego and I too think that I know what's right in a lot of situations.
Yeah.
And I quite clearly just don't. Like maybe some situations I may have a little bit more experience in, but a lot of the time I notice my ego defending my views and opinions. But on the other hand, I do genuinely believe that when I'm more soft and open, there's always something for me to learn in any given situation or conversation, whoever it might be with, and wherever they're at in their life, because it's still me talking to me at some level, isn't it?
I love that. And I think if we're very exact about this, we can actually be very detailed about this. When I speak to someone, let's say in the Lifetime locker room, you see the same people a lot of times, and a lot of those people, they always talk about the same stuff. They almost repeat themselves, right? So you have a couple of options when you're in a situation like this. The first one is you just stand there. If you're not interested because you want to be polite, you just let them talk and you move on. The second thing is you kind of start listening to them actively, but in your head, you're already forming the connections of where they're going. You already know where they're going. You already know where that maps into your existing map of knowledge. And you're already at the end point, and you're just waiting for them to finish whatever it is they have to say, to be like, yeah, I already knew that. And you move on. And the third one is when you interact with them, and that's the most difficult one, and that's why I mentioned self-awareness as the prerequisite to stay open, is first of all, becoming self-aware of what it is you're doing when you're in that conversation. The moment you can observe yourself having your inner dialogue of what the fuck is this guy talking about? Bro, you're freaking annoying. Shut the fuck. You know, it's like, I already know this. This makes no sense. Yeah, you're always repeating yourself. When you're engaged in that, you're all ego. You're not open. You're essentially just trying to get out of this as quickly as possible, or just confirm what it is that you're knowing. The more you become aware of that, the more you can actually slow down your mind. I think a big part of being stuck in structure is the pace of mind. The more fast-paced your mind is, and the more you have different things coming at you at the same time, the less you're going to be single-pointed with your mind. One focused mind. We spoke about that the last time. The more one focused of the mind you can become, the more you can actually just listen. The less you can tune out the interpretation of what it is in the moment, the more you can be one focused. I can just be focused. The less I'm doing interpretations and what do you call it? Like A leads to B and B leads to C interpretations in my head, the more I can just be a vessel and just be. But I have to be self-aware of that. Otherwise I fall again, because we are creatures of adaptation and past experiences. We're going to always revert back to our pre-existing map. So you have to kind of become aware of that. And the more you become aware of that, the more likely you're going to be to pick up maybe something that allows you. Maybe something. If you're good at it, you can pick up one angle that you didn't hear before and say, by me not excluding and throwing out the baby with the bathwater as he started speaking, I actually got that one thing out of him.
Yeah.
That's difficult. That's why I think self-awareness is a prerequisite for exploration.
Yeah, this makes me almost go back to point one, where we're all telling stories to each other, and you're saying you're in the locker room and everybody's telling the same stories. But yes, so are we. We're telling them the same stories about us.
True.
Everybody's going around saying the same things and caring about the same things and revolving the conversation around the same things that they care about, or also maybe even the thing that they think that you care about. A lot of the time, if somebody looks up to you in the gym, they're going to want to come over to you and talk to you about the same sorts of things. People come up to me and talk to me about artsy, creative, musical things, because they know that's what I do as well. But there's obviously another level of me, the complex behind the scenes of me, that isn't what I'm putting out there on Instagram or whatever else. But you often don't get to meet that side of somebody unless you get to questioning with them on that level.
Yes.
But I think really that's this part of my number 4 about doing things together with people, is that in the process of listening, because it can be difficult, because your chatter is going on and you are linking things up, and most people are thinking about what question they're going to ask when this person's finished, rather than listening to them and then just formulating at the end of it. Like we're trying to like predict each other. We're prompting like stupid AI. But you don't get to really feel and understand and emotionally connect with people unless you're listening louder than that.
And I think it comes down to a little bit to, if you look at it from a level of energy, it comes down to our efficiency to preserve energy. So there's probably an evolutionary reason we use these heuristics all the time, right? Because we're like, oh, I can essentially save some energy by I don't need to think about this any further because I already know the outcome. And I think evolutionary speaking, we're preserving some mental capacity to then expend otherwise. And I think it's becoming aware of why it is that you're doing it and then when it is that you're doing it. And by doing that, you are actually opening up that vessel of receiving information that otherwise would not be available to you. And again, that's why I say you read the book, every book you read based on your level of self-awareness. And your level of self-awareness is going to dictate your level of openness. Hence why you're much more likely to receive novel information. The words are the same, but your reception of it is going to be different.
Yeah.
Based on how I look at you, but based on how I look at you is based again on my ability to look at myself, to open myself up, to catch myself.
Yeah.
Essentially, guys, this whole podcast, you can just listen to this one line, then you never have to watch this again, is all about becoming self-aware.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
That's the whole podcast.
It's the whole podcast is how to become self-aware.
Yeah.
Know thyself and you will know the world. Yeah.
We've said about before, the ego, most people just instantly think that's a negative thing. It doesn't have to be. It's something that we all have. It's part of how we understand our identity, but you can use that to your benefit as long as you're aware of it. And I wasn't aware of it for the longest time. I would say 5 years ago, my ego was just driving the car and I was in the passenger seat. I'm trying to change that around now, and I'm still subject to my ego every now and then, especially on the football pitch. Sometimes on a Thursday night when you played something to me and I haven't managed to get to it, in the heat at that moment, me and you could be at each other's necks.
We were.
Yeah.
Normal.
But that's completely normal, because then as soon as the game's done, but like that's me in the heat of my ego right there, and that can be beneficial because it can also allow me to fire up enough that something crazy can happen, something delusional can happen. Yeah. So you do need to be able to use it to your advantage, but you also need to be able to like let go of it and know when it's not serving you.
Absolutely. And I think it's especially on the football pitch, because you're doing something primal, you're fighting, you're running,
competitive.
Nature,
yeah.
It's for me, I noticed when I bottle up my emotion from moment to moment when things are not going well, there's a large likelihood for me to explode at some point and get a red card or really go off on someone.
Yeah, like the one time where you kicked the wall.
Exactly.
Dude.
But that's like you're trying to be so neutral, and you're trying to be so calm. You eat that up. That goes back to processing emotion. Processing the emotion that moment might be like yelling at you. Get that out. It's just energy coming out of you. So doing that allows you, at least for me when I play soccer, to recenter. But yes, there's a balance, because a lot of times you can do that and then it stays on your mind and you keep nagging at yourself. Yeah. And that interferes again with your ability to play a creative game. Yeah. Because in order to play a creative game, you have to be able to be one-minded.
Yes, bro.
You have to be in the flow state.
Yeah. It's hard as well when you're fired up, especially with anger, I guess, especially for men. Well, I suppose it doesn't really matter. Women get angry too. But calming that emotion is tough in the thick of the moment. Yeah. But one way to do it is to try and instantly jump back into normalcy as quickly as you can. So rather than me holding on to that grudge and being like, he thinks he's this, he thinks he's that. I remember this specifically the 3 weeks ago, whenever it was, just before Christmas, where we had to scream at each other and you were like, who the F do you think you are? This kind of thing. Yeah. And then very quickly afterwards, I was thinking to myself, we're either going to keep this up and we're going to be pissed off at each other for the rest of the game, and we're going to be not playing the ball to each other, or like, just being like bullshit kids, or I'm going to say something now and we're just going to, and I think you scored a good goal after that, like near afterwards you used it to your advantage. Yeah. And I remember saying to you like, oh, great shot, bruv, or like, you played a really good ball. So I felt like the compliment after the aggression would have hopefully like narrowed the gap between.
Well, how do you build a stronger relationship? You go through low points together, right? You break it, you rebuild it, you come back up.
Yeah.
There's breaking points. There's no strong relationship without difficult times with each other. It's the same in like a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
The more
That's
you're
what's
able
weird
to,
when you hear about people who don't have arguments with each other. Do you find that a little bit like? Really?
Of course it is. Even scientifically it is. I think the statistic is on a daily, you should have about 7 disagreements with your partner, and that is correlated with long-term happiness and just the longevity of the relationship. I think it's 7. I might be off by 1 or 2. Maybe it's 6 or 8. But it's not 0, which is interesting. People will think, oh, having 0 friction is the best. Actually, it isn't. It is not. Because how can you have 0 friction? You can't, bro. If you have 0 friction, you have friction that remains unaddressed. Mm-hmm. And when you have friction that remains unaddressed, you build what? Resentment. Mm-hmm. And when you build resentment, over time you're going to explode.
Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, you got to deal with things as quickly as possible. That reminds me of a JP thing where he would say whenever Tammy was like, they would always deal with things straight away. You've got to go, and then and if it isn't solved, you got to go have that conversation again.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just builds and it builds and it builds, and then you end up with blowing up at some point. And that's a horrible situation where something goes way out of proportion than it needed. You could have been dealt with so much earlier, so much more calmly if we'd have taken that at the root.
Bro, we talk about routines a lot. I'm gonna make sure as a routine, I'm gonna set a timer to message you 6 times a day how much you suck, so I can maintain the positivity and longevity of our relationship.
My brother.
I do it for the love of us, bro.
You love me, brother.
I love you, bro. Just so you know, man, I'm applying science to nurture this beautiful relationship of ours.
Special, isn't it?
It's special, bro.
Special.
All right, but we got curiosity.
So we got life as a narrative, we got balancing creativity and play.
And then we have structure and flow.
I think you can find flow if you place structure before it. I have a little bit of autism in me. My sister's
Is that diagnosed?
No, it's just
self-diagnosed.
It's
self-trademarked autism.
Self-trademarked autism.
Okay.
Yeah, the good kind. Yeah.
Okay, there's a good kind.
I'm just aware that that I'm a little bit autistic, and I have some stimming patterns, and I notice certain things about my behaviour sometimes that is similar to autism. I also learn the similar kind of way that autistic children do. So I'm not trying to take the mickey out of people who are definitely fully autistic either, but I also have I have an autistic child within my family, so I see how he is as a kid. I see how he acts, and I also know that there were some similarities in my behaviour as a kid to how kind of rebellious he can be, how against authority he can be, and I still have elements of that in me now. So I get it. And autistic kids, 1, need to be taught with visual aids, and 2, need to be taught with structure. I think that that's imperative. I think that if you put the structure in place, you give yourself the ability to have the flow state. Mm-hmm. And combining those 2 things together, although they don't necessarily sound like that they can actually match, they almost sound like they're 2 different things.
To the ego mind, they are, yeah. To the ego mind, makes no sense. From the perspective of the universe, that's really what it is, right? It's like, it's structure, and then it's flow. And it's almost like this organized expansion. It's this expansion within structure, or structure within expansion. I don't know. Something like that. It's something like that. But I'm actually curious about that, because I think that's the key to success, essentially, for everyone. I think that's the most important thing. How can you set up a life practically when you wake up in the morning, when you go to sleep at night, and everything in between, that has enough structure so you don't essentially deviate towards nothingness and complete dispersion and split-mindedness, and at the same time allow yourself that room to play, because it's absolutely the key to success. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, I think a lot of people, including myself, have difficulties always striking that balance. Because what I see with myself a lot of times is, you're honest with yourself, distinguishing when it is creative play versus pointless numbing you're doing. Because I can be within a structure, and I'll be like, okay, now is the time to be a little bit more free and a little bit more playful. And you can easily think that's by going on the internet and scrolling through reels, or by distracting yourself from whatever it is that you're doing. Oh, I'm allowing myself some room to play within my daily structure. But it could also just be picking up a thought all of a sudden and just say, oh, let me actually sit with this and let me think what this is. And it reminds me of this thing I read in the book. Let me go back and read this. And I think that's a beautiful way to be playful within a structure, because now you're actually playing, creating, and expanding with a purpose, whereas the other one is escaping. So to a certain degree, you have to be aware of whether you're bullshitting yourself within that structure and just trademarking it as play, where it's actually not, where it's just hedonistic behavior, versus this genuinely being part of your higher self and following a deeper purpose. And I don't think you can do that without knowing yourself enough. I think you're going to figure that out as you go. And the prerequisite is self-honesty, I think, for that.
Okay.
How do you do it? How do you do it practically?
Me personally, I structure the things in my life that I do have majority control over, and I feel like we need to make a distinction on the play side of things. I'm not talking like play like, I mean, yeah, sure. Have time where you're actively living life without a specific goal in mind about where that's heading. Like when we go play tennis, or if we go and do rock climbing, or if we went and were ideating over what glory bar artwork could look like that's all creativity and play. I wouldn't want that to be set in too structured a way for us to approach it. I don't think you get the best ideas by being too overly structured in the creative endeavor.
I agree with that, yes. On a practical level, when you have a certain structure in place, I do this at this time, then I have to do this. So you have a list of to-dos, right? When you go about your day, I think you do. You have a list of to-dos, things that you know you want to do. But at the same time, you want that element of creativity and play within it. And I think a lot of times, it's the dance between let me just get it done, because getting it done is going to make me feel like I accomplished something during the day. It's that ticking off thing that we spoke about before, versus doing it and being identified with the task on hand that doesn't necessarily have an end goal in mind.
Yeah.
So the moment the thought comes in and I'm like, oh, let me actually think about this, I don't think about the version of myself who I'll be in 5 minutes with this integrated knowledge. I'm just doing it because it feels, I'm drawn towards it, and it feels right to sit with that thought for that moment.
Well, that's for you. That is creativity in many ways, because if you're thinking of a strategy or whatever else, you've got to let your mind go to some degree. You have to kind of let it go to where it goes next. Let's see where it takes me, kind of thing. You do this in meditation, visualization too.
This is good. You know why? Now it reminds me. It brings us back to what we just spoke about before. I think the prerequisite for having play within structure is openness, humility, and your ability to say that you didn't know it all.
Yeah.
Because that requires you almost to dispense or play with whatever is in front of you with an open mind. So that in itself, that ability to set aside your ego and being able to look at something not with your pre-existing knowledge structure, that in itself is the play and is the curiosity without bullshitting yourself. So to a certain degree, it requires humility, because if you're not humble, if you know it all, that's the absence of humility. Not knowing it all opens you up to more information. Yeah,
and it also makes it more fun in the whole of the environment of playing the game in the first place, because you don't want to play a game that you've either completed before. I mean, it's more exciting to play the game that you don't know, or you don't want to see all of the levels in advance and then start at level 1. The fun is in the fact that you don't know what's coming next.
Well, I think that's the fun, and I also think it's not just the fun; it's the solution to the game of life. Think about Mario hitting the wall all the time. Like you going through the level, you're hitting the wall every time you get eaten up by that guy, by that I don't even know, the Bowser,
the plant or whatever.
The Bowser with the fire, right? He comes with the fire, eats you up, and you keep doing it. The prerequisite for you to eat the Bowser or to jump over him is for you to approach the same situation differently. and to overcome it. So you have to be humble enough to admit that whatever map it is or whatever plan it is that you wrote out, that's a plan written by your mind. Your mind is part of your fleshly self, is part of your ego. What transcends the body and the mind? The spirit. So to a certain degree, you have to understand that there is a part of you, an infinite knowledge structure that is provided by God, that will allow you to get to your goal more quickly, as much as you're willing to give up whatever it is you thought you were right about to begin with. And I think that's the play, that already has the play element embedded in it. Because now you're dancing with the same thing, but you're dancing a different dance.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like that approach.
It's so interesting, your framework. Well, we can keep going because this was point 3.
That was point 3. There's one more to go.
Yeah.
There's one more to go after structure versus plan.
That's going with the group.
That's with the team. That's winning together. Yeah.
Bro, your framework is banger, by the way, and I'll tell you afterwards why.
Okay.
But let's talk about point 4 first.
I've been very independent in my choices in my life for the longest time. Again, driven mostly by my ego as it's driving the car, which has been great. I've absolutely loved what I've managed to do, but I feel like there's a lot more that I could have achieved, and I'm excited to see what this last year, 2-3 years has brought me, where I've really opened up the gates to collaborating with people, and how awesome that is, and how much I missed that, and how much I realized that was always what I loved. Like thinking back to school and art projects and doing joint projects in design technology. Like I remember now that it was always best when there was the crew doing it.
It's beautiful.
It's like, why did it take me so long? I got so solo for a while on this crusade to do whatever I could in my life that I missed out on some of the best like little beautiful things I could have done in groups. So I think we're just getting to grips with really understanding that, seeing what it's been like working with other people, challenging myself to be a better listener, to believe that other people have my best interests at heart, which often is hard for me too. I don't know why I get defensive on that sometimes. Sometimes when people are suggesting things to me, I can shut them down too quickly without being like, you know what? Like maybe there's something to this. Like let me go and visit this place. Let me go and meet them and see what, like, just being again more open to it and not allowing my ego to think that I've got the best solution and they don't know what they're talking about. So I have to just get over that. I have to ask better questions. I feel like, again, when you've read a bunch of stuff and you think you've got a bunch of answers inside of you, and then someone's telling you something, rather than joining them where they are, I can find myself telling them stories back or relating something. Oh, I know how you feel because this happened to me. That's not my objective is not to be that way when someone's sharing something that's painful or being vulnerable. My objective is to absorb and to support. So I need to work on that area of myself too. I think that's important, to be asking more questions to the people that are around you. Togetherness itself really is, again, like curating your circle as well. It's to be in communication with the people that are close to you and that mean a lot to you, to forgive fast, to not hold grudges, and to live present. Like, do you know what the amount, again, we talk about people telling the same stories, especially when it's something that's hurt them or something that they're still kind of battling with or is haunting them somehow. But they're also the people that need the listening ear the most, because one person that really sits and goes, I feel where you're coming from and you're not alone, can change their whole trajectory. So yeah, that's my fourth major point is we've really got to work together. And also just thinking about it, we all live an individual life. Like you're living yours, I'm living mine, Alex living etc., etc. But we always forget, or at least it takes some conscious remembering, that we're on this planet together, and that's the OG organism. Like we're all breathing the same air, we're drinking the same water, we're walking around in the same suits. We're one, but we're having individual experiences. And I think just remembering that and actually having, like, again, like I say, the benefit of the doubt to the people that are in your life, that they have your best interests at heart, that they want to help and support you, that they're not out to get you and all this kind of stuff, can just change the way that you approach everything. And that's the real one up.
Yeah, there's so much in there in that point. Everything you said, man. There's absolutely, that's the truth, that any success, but also sadness that is not shared is half of it. Even so I did the other channel, right? I'm still doing it, the Pursuit of Being, because I had this inkling in me to do something on my own. I really wanted to do it. This channel where I talk about the same thing, just in lecture style. And I realized as I went about it, it's like, man, there's just something that I enjoy so much more doing this with Mark and growing the channel together rather than doing it alone. And I think it's because ultimately we are always going, let me be very specific about this. It's important to learn to be good on your own. I think that's the prerequisite to any happy relationship. Friendship-wise, socially, but also romantically. But you will never be as good as you would be in a good relationship with anyone. I think one is the prerequisite for the other one being what you're ultimately striving for. We don't want to be alone. Loneliness is the major killer, scientifically speaking, specifically for men.
Yeah.
I think above 45 or above 50, it's a higher killer than heart disease. And the reason for that is we are made to be in groups. We're not single living organisms. We evolved in communities, right? That's something important to keep in mind. And because of that, we know that practically too. If you have something on your mind and you talk to me about it, if I have something on my mind, I speak to you about it. After we speak about it, how does it feel?
We shared the load, yeah, you feel lighter.
Bro, that's just how it is, man.
Plus you've got another perspective. And if that person cares about you,
yeah,
you know it's going to be one that's going to help. That's going to be something that you haven't considered.
And that's why a lot of times, even if the other one can't give you the ultimate perspective, just saying it out loud to someone else is oftentimes enough.
That's
and
release,
most of us know this through experience.
Yeah.
Like just a phone call to a friend, you talk about it. The other one might not even say a single word other than that stuff, and that's it. But it already feels better. It comes out of you sharing it with someone. It's kind of that you almost share that pain with someone, or you share that success with someone. It's double.
Yes, but like you say about aloneness being the major killer, when you share something, you actually you're confirming to yourself that you're not alone.
Yes.
And oftentimes this other person has had some kind of an experience where they can level with you and say, I feel where you're coming from, and I know, and I've been through this, and you can get through it too.
This is an important point, because the less we speak to people, the more we are absorbed in the illusion of us being so different from other people. The more we sit in loneliness with our thoughts, we think that this is such a unique reality that no one else will understand that pain and the thought process.
This is so important. And the people won't understand is something that I've felt, and I've heard other people say. And you feel isolated.
Exactly, man. And the moment you actually speak to someone about it, you come to realize maybe I'm not as unique as I thought I was. Other people have gone through this process and walked in maybe not the same but similar shoes as I'm walking through. And that moment is a relief, because it takes away that burden of, oh man, this is the thing that is unresolvable and that I can never make sense of. This is a problem that is so big, no one will fathom it. No, that person in front of you gets it. He gets it by the response or the reaction. You're like, oh damn, my problem is not that special. That's a great feeling. It's a feeling of relief. Speaking to people brings relief. Speaking to God brings relief.
Yeah.
Even doing it with God means that you're not doing it alone. I think when you talk about the relationships and not doing it alone, I think a lot of us might think we're talking about humans, but I think beyond that, we're talking about the relationship with something outside of you.
Yeah.
And that is also the divine.
Yes.
And that may actually be the ultimate relationship. The ultimate guide going with you at all times.
The ultimate.
Because how can you be alone when you walk with God?
Exactly. And you're never alone.
Exactly. The reason I I like your framework is the moment you started talking, and I had to stop myself because, like I say, the moment you speak about something, these maps light up in my head. Oh, this is true. This is scientifically this. Yeah, I heard this here, right? But the more I do this again, the less I can actually interact with you. Not as pure. So I'm trying to block that. But now, to summarize that, a lot of the points that you mentioned map scientifically to having purpose in life, whether not having purpose in life. The most important point, scientifically speaking, for people that respond that they feel like they have a purpose in life is decision autonomy. So decision autonomy meaning that not someone else is making decisions for you, but that you feel like you are the one making your own decisions. And whether the decision is good or bad is a completely separate question. That's not to dispense with right now. It's literally your ability to make your own decisions. I decide that I'm doing this, not you telling me that I'm doing this. Because what does it do? In one instance, you making the decision for me, I don't feel any level of control. I feel imprisoned. Mm-hmm. The moment I make my own decision, whether the decision is poor or good, I feel a certain level of freedom. Now I'm the one playing the game. I'm jumping up, I'm saying left, I'm saying right. Mm-hmm. And what you were saying in the beginning is, or for point number one, living life as it unfolds and your ability to adapt and assuming responsibility. That assuming responsibility is your prerequisite to make your decisions. Otherwise, if I'm the victim, I'm like, because of your decisions, politically speaking, now I am oppressed and I'm the Middle Eastern man that cannot do anything. I'm this guy or this girl, I'm this color, that color. Someone else made the decision for me. If someone else makes the decision for me, it's negatively correlated with purpose.
Mm-hmm. That's like accepting that the game's too hard to play.
Or someone else is playing the game towards you. Yeah. So that's the first one. And then the second one, the second point, scientifically speaking, for having purpose is your level of belongingness and relationships. So if I feel like I am part of something bigger and I am serving something outside of me, then I feel a higher level of purpose, which is essentially your point number 4. Feeling like I'm part of a group rather than being alone. Feeling like I can be of service, providing a service or a product, let's say, that also serves other people and not just my financial gain. Mm-hmm. That's why you see a lot of people that become ultra successful in the classical sense, again, based on how you define success. Bank account success is different to feeling content. Mm-hmm. It's 2 different stories. So a lot of people that get bank account successful don't feel content. Why? Because they're serving the goal of money more so than serving the goal of something outside of you that other people are benefiting from. And the third point that adds to finding purpose is your ability to find play and creativity and do novel things, to be able to break out of pre-existing structure, mm-hmm. which is essentially also your point number 2. So what your framework essentially is how to find purpose in life. You correlated it with success. The reason I like this is when someone says I have a framework for success, the first thing I was thinking of is financial success. But financial success with life success are 2 completely different things. Yeah. So your framework summarizes actually contentment, purpose, genuinely feeling like I'm in a good place in life, which the points you're ticked off give you so much more than financial success. Because financial success, the points, you can get to financial success without ticking off a lot of these. Mm-hmm. You can get there just simply through the grind and through a lot of repetition, through a lot of structure, not serving other people. You could go and gong, bomb, bomb, bomb. You know, just whoever's in your way, slap them left and right. People get successful like that too. But success in a financial sense, I would make the case that those people don't necessarily feel content. Yeah, I've seen them, at least in my experience.
Yeah. I know a few of them. Yeah. I've met a few myself, so I totally get that as well. Yeah, it's a way of living, isn't it? It's a way to approach things,
and it's a way. It's a decision ultimately.
Yeah, decision to I'm going to play the game.
is I'm going to play the game, but then the ultimate decision is, what do I define as success and what's my desire? If my desire is becoming rich and high status, or is my desire being content? And based on those two strategies can be different. Don't have to be, because you can also be content and be financially successful and high status. And there's people that have it, that have all of that.
Yeah, but I think what we're really saying is that the amount of cash you've got does not dictate your happiness, because you're not going through the game of Sonic trying to collect the most amount of rings. Yeah, you might get some extra benefits from that, but that's not the goal of the game, is it? Nor is collecting coins the goal of the game in Mario. It's an element of the game. It might help you achieve certain things or give you one-ups, whatever else, additional things throughout the course of the game, but it's not the driving force of why you play it.
What's the driving force of Super Mario at the end?
Beat Bowser.
Huh?
Beat Bowser.
What comes after that? What do you get?
The princess!
Why do you get the princess?
Because love is the goal of the game.
Exactly, bro. What does he...
And that's a verse, you can put that in the Bible.
Yeah, why do you get the princess? You get the princess because you're going to feel love, and that's going to give you a certain level of contentment. That's different to dopamine. That's different to excitement.
It's also a hero's journey. It really is the true hero's journey, isn't it? You think about it. Sorry, just to make it about Mario, is the case in Mario that Bowser has kidnapped the princess?
I think that's
and he's keeping her in his castle.
Yes, I think so.
So Mario's like, no. Hang on a minute, let me put down my plumbing gear. I'm going to go and sort this out. Luigi, what are you up to?
And I think that's...
Got any of those mushrooms?
Bro, it's so... Now that you talk about it, this comes to my mind because he's collecting all the coins. He's collecting the star. He's eating the mushrooms. But he's not eating them he's not keeping them in terms of attachment. He's gaining them along the way in order to expend them again as energy to get to the ultimate goal.
Yes, 100%.
Right? So you're gathering all the goods, the objects, the things that the physical world portrays as so shiny. But then those are used and given away again to beat the Bowser in order to find the ultimate fulfillment, the ultimate purpose.
True treasure.
The true treasure.
Which is Princess, what's her name?
Is it Peach?
Princess Peach, it is, yeah.
Princess Peach. Princess Peach, good one.
She's definitely
Mario
Peach.
knows
She's
how to pick
proper
him.
Peachy as well. Ooh, Mario.
Ooh, Mario.
Get to the plumbing one.
What happens to Luigi, man, when Mario has the girl? Are they doing...
Don't know, does Luigi have a
threesome?
missus? Threesome, yeah. Two brothers plumber. Yes, that's something. I might have watched that before.
Those are real brothers, man. Nothing remains unshared, not even Peach.
Yeah, man. Brav, that was a good one.
Good one, man. Pleasure speaking with you as usual.
Always, Brav.
All right, bro.
Love you. See you soon.
See ya.